I asked about my sister's wedding date only for her to tell me. It happened last week. I only invited a few people who mattered. I asked my mom about it, and she said, the wedding was for just a few of us. The family decided that your presence wasn't needed. Everyone forgot I paid for the wedding. I calmly smiled and went away. The next morning, my name is Noah. I'm 33. Older brother, background guy, the person who shows up early, stacks chairs without being asked, and remembers where the extension cords live. I work operations for a warehouse off I-84, spreadsheets, delivery routes. Where did pallet 48 go? Why does scanner 7 only die after lunch? I live alone in a one-bedroom with thin walls and a balcony that fits exactly one chair and a basil plant that keeps threatening to give up. I keep a whiteboard by the door, bills due, shift swaps, grandma on Tuesdays. When things go wrong, people call me because I pick up, not because I'm the fun one. In our family story, my sister Nina is the glow. Mom says she lights up a room. Dad says she's got that spark. Nina says, I'm the creative, and that line turns late rent into a plot point. She's 4 years younger, beautiful in every photo, very good at, I just need help for a week. When we were kids, I gave up the good chair for her piano practice because the acoustics are better in the corner. In high school, I took the bus so she could have the car for rehearsals. After college, I floated her small amounts that became medium ones. It never felt dramatic. It felt like being a brother. I'm good at routine. Saturday laundry, Sunday pasta, Tuesday call to grandma, where she asks the same 3 questions in different orders. Are you eating? Are you saving? Are you sleeping? I answer yes, yes, and working on it. I like small fixed things, my chipped blue mug, my same route through the produce aisle, my sneakers lined up by the door. I don't need a lot. I need people to say what they mean. When Nina got engaged, I hugged her for real. She and Mark had that, we can finish each other's sentences, energy that looks nice on save the dates. Mom bought a binder with tabs. Dad promised, we'll all pitch in. The binder lived on their kitchen counter like a second heart. I'm good at pitching in. I said, tell me what you need. It wasn't a trap. It was a reflex. Months rolled. There was a group chat called N&M Wedding Brain, and I wasn't in it. Mom said, too many cooks, and forwarded me screenshots like I was allowed in the lobby, but not the room. Color palettes. A cake flavor debate. Lemon elderflower? We're thinking September. Maybe October if the leaves behave. I kept PTO flexible. When the venue wanted a hold, I put down the deposit so we don't lose the date. When the photographer asked for a retainer, I paid to lock in that style Nina loves. When the florist needed a design fee, I covered it because they only take Zelle and your dad can't figure it out. I don't like attention. I like confirmations. A Tuesday night in late fall, after a day of counting boxes that never matched the manifest, I texted Nina. Me. Hey, do we have the wedding date nailed down? Need to plan PTO. Her dots popped up right away, rare. Nina. Oh, it happened last week. I stared. The words felt like magnets flipping the wrong way. Me what? Nina. We kept it super small. I only invited a few people who mattered. The fridge hummed louder. I called Mom. She answered like she'd been waiting. Noah. Sweetie, the wedding was for just a few of us. The family decided that your presence wasn't needed. The family decided. My presence. Not needed. I watched the basil lean toward nothing and felt something tilt. Okay, I said. That's my sensible boy, Mom said, relieved. It was intimate. No fuss. You're not a crowd person. Everyone forgot I paid for the wedding. I didn't demand photos. I didn't ask about the cake. I ended the call, washed a mug that didn't need washing, and looked at my face in the dark window. My mouth made a shape that looked like a smile and felt like a door closing. I calmly smiled and went away. The next morning, I woke up before my alarm, made coffee I didn't taste, and wrote a list in block letters because lists are how I keep from spinning. Go to work. Don't argue. Check contracts. Before the money, here's how we got here in small scenes that add up. When we were little, Nina got the front seat because she gets carsick. I got, you're such a helper. At 11, she ran through the back door and clipped the kitchen cabinet with her backpack, cracking the hinge. Mom kissed her head and handed me the screwdriver. You're better with this, she said. At 16, Nina clipped the driveway curb and blew the tire. I took the blame because you're better with Dad when he's mad. At 19, she needed a temporary place and used my old room. Turned my desk into a vanity because I need good light. Money was a stream. Senior year, my laptop died. I pulled diner tips for months and bought a refurbished one. When her phone cracked, Mom put a replacement on my card because you'll get the points. When she moved into her first apartment, I co-signed the lease. When she moved out, I paid $412 in repairs because the deposit didn't cover it and the manager is a jerk. Parking tickets doubled. Can you handle it? They won't boot my car if it gets paid today. $40 here, $95 there. It's just until Friday. A Friday that slid to Monday, and then to, I'll make it up to you, promise. I told myself it wasn't a big deal. I told myself I was buying quiet. Then came engagement season. Mom is a project manager when a party is on the line. She printed spreadsheets with color codes. She drafted people like a coach. We all do what we can. Somehow, we always hung on my line. 2 months in, I'd covered the venue hold for $1,500, the photographer retainer, $1,000, the florist design fee, $600, and the city park permit for photos, $120. Mom called each one temporary. Dad said, we'll square it later. Later is a word with stretch in our house. If I had been in the room, maybe I would have kept nodding, but they cut me out like a smudge on a picture. After I said, okay to Mom, I opened my email, scrolled to the contracts, and read them like a person finally looking at the thing he's been bumping into. Venue, deposit non-refundable, remaining balance due 7 days pre-event. Contract holder me. Secondary contact, Mom. Photographer, retainer non-refundable, balance due on gallery delivery. Billing contact, me. Florist, design fee credited toward balance, remainder due on pickup date. Contact, Mom, but card on file, mine. Planner, for efficiency we have your card for any incidentals day of. I closed the laptop and just sat there. The basil looked tired. So did I? I went to work because that's what I do. I counted boxes. I answered, did pallet 48 arrive? With we're still short 3. I ate a banana in the break room and pretended it was fuel. At lunch, my phone buzzed. Mom, we're so grateful you handled the deposits. We kept things tiny, but there were a few upgrades. We'll need to clear balances this week. Venue, flowers, bar, etc. You can put them on your card and we'll reimburse after the holidays. After the holidays. The phrase that means after you stop asking. Me, I wasn't invited. Mom, don't start. Nina, don't make this about you. Mark, my new brother-in-law, texted from an unknown number. Hey man, really appreciate all you did. We were going for a vibe. Hope you understand. Send me your Venmo for like drinks or something. Like drinks or something. A tip for my own exclusion. I laughed in the break room and the guy from returns asked if I was okay. Family thing, I said, and he nodded like that's a full diagnosis. By 3 p.m., the planner emailed a friendly bomb. Subject, final payments, Nina and Mark, bullet points in bold. Venue balance $9,900. Florals balance $2,150. Bar extension, mid-reception add-on, $1,280. Photography balance, $2,300. As we have your card on file, we will process by 10 a.m. tomorrow unless otherwise instructed. There it was. A clock. A card used like a family ATM. I went home, sat in the quiet you get when your brain is loud, and stared at the whiteboard. In the corner, in small letters, I'd written, condo fund, $47, $800, with a date I hope to hit next spring. I pictured that number dropping for a party I didn't attend. I felt something very small in me stand up. I checked my budget, because that's my first language. Take home, $2,740 a month. Rent and utilities, $1,100. Groceries, $220. Insurance, phone, gas, $250. Savings, $900 to the fund if nothing breaks. What's left covers coffee, socks when the heel rips, the random thing the car decides to do in February. There isn't a line for someone else's $9,900 remaining balance. There isn't a line where I write, wedding I wasn't allowed to see. I thought about all the little times. Leaving work early to wait for a plumber at Nina's place because she couldn't get out of a shift. Missing a movie night because Mom needed me to pick up candles before the store closed. Dad handing me the ladder because you're tall. In our house, my traits are tools. If I don't hand them over, I'm cold. I boiled pasta I didn't want and ate 3 bites. I tried to read. The word skittered. I slept badly. I woke with a plan fully formed. Not revenge. Not a scene. Just accuracy. Put the money back in their hands. Put my name back in mine. I called out of work, first time in months, and typed a script for myself because I ramble when I'm nervous. Hi. Please remove my card from the account. Redirect the invoice to the contracting parties. Any charge after, timestamp, is unauthorized. I practiced the tone in my kitchen, holding the phone to my ear, talking to nobody. I sounded calm. That felt new. I texted Mom. Stopping by Sunday at 12. Mom, lovely. Bagels. Me, sure. I wrote Sunday, folder, on an index card and clipped it to my keys. I slept better. Sunday noon, my parents' house. Mom loves a Sunday. She calls bagels a spread and arranges fruit like it has to pass inspection. I parked down the street to give myself 10 extra steps to breathe. When I walked in, the house smelled like a florist learned to cook. Leftover wedding bouquets and vases on every surface. A card on the mantel in glitter, to the bride and groom. A stack of favors, tiny jars of honey labeled N and M, sweetest day. I stood there and felt nothing for the honey. Mom kissed the air near my cheek. You look tired, she said, which is her version of please be pliable. Dad said, help me move the table to the patio, without waiting for me to answer. Nina strolled in wearing a sweatshirt that said, wifey. She glowed. She gave me a nod the way you nod to someone you recognize from a waiting room. Hey, she said. Hey, I said. We sat. Bagels. Cream cheese. Lox fan like someone measured it. Nobody said sorry. Nobody said we should talk. Weather did a lap of the room first. I placed a slim folder on the table. My hands didn't shake. I brought something, I said. Mom's smile wobbled. Oh, it's the balances for the wedding, I said. The vendors have been using my card. That stops today. I've asked them to invoice you. Mom blinked like I'd turned the TV off mid-sentence. Don't be dramatic. Dad frowned. We said we'd reimburse you. When? I asked. Dad opened his mouth and shut it. Nina set her jaw. We literally just got married. Can you not ruin the day? Your day was last week, I said. Today is mine. Mom went sugar over steel. We made it small because we didn't want stress. You don't like crowds. We spared you. It's personal, I said calmly, because you told me I didn't matter enough to be there, and then you told vendors I mattered enough to fund it. She flinched. Dad studied his coffee like it could offer a script. I slid the folder across. Venue. Balance due tomorrow. Florist by Wednesday. The bar extension was charged to my card without authorization. I've reversed it. I've frozen the card. If vendors need payment, give them your card. Nina's voice sharpened. You're being petty. I shook my head. No, this isn't about revenge. This is about closure. The room paused. Even the refrigerator took a beat. Mom's eyes filled, fury dressed as sadness. After everything we've done for you. I kept my voice even. Like handing me tasks and calling it love? Dad slapped his palm on the table. Watch your mouth. Watch your boundaries, I said. Nina laughed, quick and mean. You paid some deposits. Big whoop. Mark's cousin handled the DJ. People contribute. People contribute to events they're invited to, I said. Mom stood so fast her chair scraped. If you walk out now, don't come back for Christmas. I'm not walking out, I said. I'm leaving. Nina threw one more pebble. Fine. We'll pay you later, like Dad said. Air quotes. She thought the shape of her fingers would wound me. Later isn't a date, I said. But okay. Mom followed me into the hallway. Noah, be reasonable. You're making me the bad guy. You made a choice, I said, hand on the doorknob. I'm making mine. She reached for my arm, then let it drop. You're ungrateful. I'm done being invisible. I stepped onto the porch. The day was cold and bright. My phone buzzed, unknown number. I let it ring. Dad called after me. You'll regret this. Like he was ordering from a menu. I sat in my car and let the heat run until I could feel my fingers. Then I drove home to the basil plant that might live or die, but would be mine either way. Fallout wasn't an explosion. It was a lot of small sounds. 1:08 p.m. Planner. Hi Noah. We saw your note. Can you please provide an alternate card? Reply. Use the bride or her mother. Remove my card. 1:27 p.m. Venue. Remaining balance due tomorrow. Confirming payment method. Reply. Not me. Contact. Mom's email. Remove my card. 2:02 p.m. Florist. We have a card ending in 7721 on file. Keep. Reply. That's mine. Remove. Use Mom or Nina. 2:40 p.m. Bank alert. Attempted charge $1,280. Premium bar EXT. Declined. I called the bank, flagged it as unauthorized, requested a new card. Hold music. A flute that sounded like a hallway. I stayed on the line. I answered 3 security questions and one that felt like a riddle. The rep said, we'll overnight the replacement. I said, thank you, and meant it like oxygen. 3:15 p.m. Mom called. Voicemail. We are humiliated. You embarrassed us. The venue thinks we're deadbeats. 3:17 p.m., Dad called. You're acting like a child. 3:22 p.m., Nina texted. Mark says just pay it and we'll send you like $500 this week. Me, no. Nina, you're enjoying this. Me, I'm tired. For PM, I wrote one email to all vendors, CCing Mom and Nina. Subject, billing contact change, Noah removed. Body, effective immediately, remove my card and name from all accounts related to Nina plus Mark's event dated date. Send all invoices to Mom and Nina. Any charges made to my card after timestamp are unauthorized. Noah. Clicking send felt like setting a heavy box on the correct shelf. 5:20 p.m., my aunt texted a Bible verse about forgiveness. I replied, thanks, because I don't fight the extended family. I opt out. 7:05 p.m., my neighbor knocked. My package was at her door. You okay? She asked, seeing my face. Family stuff, I said. She nodded like that's a weather report. That night, I made a new list. Freeze credit, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Remove saved payment from the family Amazon. Change bank passwords. Add alerts, $1. Set voicemail to text preferred. Schedule therapy intake. Buy a bigger pot for the basil. I did the first 4. I booked a Friday 8 a.m. therapy slot a friend recommended. I moved the basil to more light. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and slept like someone pulled a plug. Monday, the group chat woke up angry. So ungrateful. After everything Mom does. Money isn't everything. You think you're better. I muted it. At 9:12 a.m., the venue emailed. Per your instruction, we've updated billing. Congrats to the couple. I stared at the exclamation point like it had teeth and let it go. At lunch, Eli from work slid into the chair across from me. You're quiet, he said. Family stuff, I said. Vague and ominous, he said, smiling. Want to borrow my noise-canceling headphones for your brain? I told him the clean version. He said, I'd love a family who calls me petty for not underwriting a party. I laughed once, loud, and felt something unclench. Tuesday, my boss pulled me aside. You've been on it, she said. I want you to lead the peak season schedule. It came with a raise, small, but real. I swallowed a lump and said, thanks. I bought myself decent coffee beans on the way home and didn't apologize to my budget. Wednesday evening, Mom showed up at my building without texting. She buzzed 9 times. The building turned into a sound. I watched through the glass. She held a bakery box like sugar could fix logistics. I didn't buzz her in. She texted, open the door. Me, please don't come unannounced. She stood until the box probably got cold. Then she left. Thursday morning, Dad sent a photo of my old baseball glove. Caption, do you want this or should I toss it? Translation, come over and make peace. Me, keep it. Dad, you're being dramatic. I let the phone face down without answering. Sometimes the adult thing is silence. Friday at 8, I sat on a couch that wasn't mine and told a therapist I'd been paying admission to my own family. Saying it out loud made it real in a different way. She nodded. What would it sound like to stop paying? We made a list. It wasn't a magic spell. It was, don't loan money you can't gift. Don't put your name on things you don't control. Don't attend events where you are a prop. Don't explain and know more than once. After, I walked 2 extra blocks to feel my feet. I bought the basil a bigger pot and dirt that promised well-draining, like that's a personality. I repotted it on the balcony and apologized to the plant for the whiplash. Over the weekend, Grandma called. I heard there was noise, she said, careful. I told her the truth without the mess. They had a wedding without me, I said. I removed my card. She exhaled like a kettle starting. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Come by next week. I made stew. I wrote stew on Tuesday like it was a meeting. Sunday, Mom texted, venue needs a card today. Then, photographer won't release the gallery until paid. Then, florist says the balance is past due. Proof the system works when I'm not the system. I didn't reply with tips. I didn't jump in. You should call them, if anything. A week later, a transfer hit my account from Mom. $250 with the note, start of the payback. I didn't type, thank you. I moved it to savings and labeled it door fund, because in my head the condo has a door that doesn't stick and I get to paint it blue if I want. No big apology came. No porch speech. Just fewer pings. More quiet. It felt weird, than normal. 3 weeks in, Nina texted at 1:03 a.m. I hate how this went. You didn't deserve the text I sent. I was being mean. I typed and deleted 5 times. I finally sent, I'm not going to be anyone's wallet anymore. She wrote back, K. Not a reconciliation. Not a war. A pause. Work got busy in a way I like. Clear problems, clear fixes. I rewired the pick paths, shaved 6 minutes a route, watched chaos settle into lines. My boss emailed, "Nice work." I printed it and stuck it by the whiteboard because sometimes you need proof that effort matters somewhere. On a Sunday, my neighbor with the package invited me to a potluck. "Friendsgiving, round two," she said. "Bring whatever." I brought rolls, duct tape, and the screwdriver I keep in my glove box. Their folding table needed a brace. I made one out of a paint stirrer and a prayer. We went around and said one thing we were grateful for. When it was my turn, I said, "Boundaries," and it sounded like a joke until it didn't. Nobody asked me to explain. On Tuesday, I took Grandma's stew and fixed her cabinet hinge for the third time. "It keeps loosening," she said. "Things do," I said. She patted my hand. "Tighten them again," she said. We watched a game show and made fun of the commercial where a guy proposes with a burger. When I left, she handed me a bag with Tupperware and said, "Don't forget your containers." Like that's our love language. A month out, Mom sent $200 with for the florist and a separate text. "We miss you." I stared at the sentence. It looked like a picture of food. Pretty, not filling. I replied, "Thank you for the transfer." She sent a photo of Nina and Mark cutting a second cake with friends. I put my phone face down and watered the basil. On a Thursday, I said no to a request without sweating. "Nina, can you watch the dog this weekend?" Me. "No, I have plans." My plans were laundry and quiet, but they counted. She sent a thumbs up. The world didn't crack. I made pancakes on Sunday just because I wanted to use the syrup that's been in my cabinet since 2022. I burned the first one and ate it anyway. For weeks later, I opened my credit report and checked for inquiries. Clean. I exhaled a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. I put a reminder for 6 months from now to check again. I wrote, "Basil likes mornings," on a post-it and stuck it to the balcony door like I was trying to convince myself and the plant. There was no grand reckoning, just a quieter phone and a stronger spine. It was enough. I kept waiting for thunder. Closure showed up like a click. Here's what it looks like up close. I say no faster and softer. No, I won't co-sign. No, I can't put that on my card. No, Sunday's not good for moving tables. I don't attach a paragraph of apology. I don't turn my calm into a debate I can lose. Mom texts coupons. I say thanks or nothing. Dad sends dog videos where a golden retrieves groceries. I send a laughing face because the dog looks like it pays its own bills. Nina sends a meme every other week. We're not fixed. We're functional at a low volume. I answer Grandma every Tuesday and tell her about the basil. She says, every time, maybe it wants a friend, like I should buy a second plant so the first one has someone to talk to. I taped an index card inside my mug cupboard. It says, "I will not fund a seat I'm not offered. I will not let family be a password to my wallet. I will not explain a boundary more than once. I will build the life I pay for." It's not poetry. It's a checklist I see when the kettle starts to sing. I still show up early and stack chairs when I'm invited. I still fix hinges when someone says please and means it. I still leave before the photos sometimes because I like my bed and quiet more than small talk. The difference is I do those things by choice, not because someone wrote my name next to a task and called it love. I don't know if Nina will ever say, "I'm sorry we cut you out." I don't need it to keep moving. The apology I needed was the one I finally aimed at myself. "You weren't cruel for saying no. You were careful." The story I tell myself changed. Not a plot twist. A new sentence. This isn't revenge. It's closure. It's the lock turning on my side of the door. It's a basil plant that might live, might not, but belongs to me either way. It's a blue door in a place I don't own yet, but am walking toward, one quiet no at a time. My name is Noah. I'm 33. Older brother. Background guy. Not a wallet. Not a villain. Just a person who learned that no is a complete sentence and later isn't a date. And the next morning, I chose me and kept choosing me until it wasn't a moment anymore. It was a life.